Hi everyone, myself Akhilesh Balam, a software engineer with over a decade of experience building cloud-native distributed systems, large-scale backend platforms, and real-time communication systems. Today, we will discuss how to transform patient outcomes through AI-enhanced real-time communication systems. Most recently at Amazon, I worked on highly scalable services supporting millions of users globally within Kindle and Alexa space. Before that, at Oracle Health, I worked on secure clinical platforms integrated with electronic healthcare records, helping enable real-time messaging and alerts for frontline care teams. Across these lessons, one lesson that really stood out to me was communication itself is infrastructure. When information reaches the right person at the right time, outcomes can really be great and improve the patient care. And today, with advances in AI, we have an opportunity to make communication not only faster, but more smarter, more context aware, and less noisy. That being said, let's deep dive. Um, so, as I said, today's topic is AI enhanced real time clinical communication for better patient outcomes. In today's world, healthcare moves incredibly fast, and the communication supporting it must move even faster. In clinical environments, delays are not measured in terms of minutes, but they're measured in terms of consequences. When the right information reaches the right clinician too late, treatments can be delayed, and there's a probability that risks can increase and care teams lose valuable time. But speed alone is no longer enough. Today, we also have the opportunity to make communication more smarter. That's where AI can help prioritize urgent alerts, reduce unnecessary noise. It can help with summarizing clinical context and route information to the right person at the right time very fastly. That means clinicians spend less time sorting signals and more time delivering the care. So in this lesson, we will look at how to design healthcare systems that are real-time and highly reliable, secure and compliant, scalable and cloud-ready, and enhanced by AI in safe and practical ways. My goal is that by end of this session, you'll have a strong mental model for building healthcare communication systems that are not only fast but more smarter and intelligent. So, in today's healthcare world, time is the most valuable currency. Every second does matter. When a patient condition is worsening, even a shorter delay in communication can really change the actual outcome. Historically, many hospitals relied on tools like pagers, phone calls, manual call trees, and inbox style emails. These systems can pretty much work as far as the patient care goes, but they introduce lots of friction. For example, a pager may be with no proper context. A phone tree may take several handoffs before reaching the right clinician, and an alert sitting in a inbox may wait until someone logs in and checks it. All of that consumes very valuable time. But modern real-time communication systems solves this by delivering information instantly with the right set of mechanisms like acknowledgements, having some sort of escalation logic, and mobile access to all the systems within the hospital setting. But now we can even go one step further. AI can help ensure that time is spent wherever it matters the most. It can prioritize urgent alerts, suppress duplicates or noise, and reduce alarm fatigues. And it tries to surface the most relevant context that a physician or a nurse immediately needs. So if the time is the currency of healthcare, real-time communication systems try to protect it, and AI helps allocate it intelligently. Now that we have seen why time is so critical, let's look at some of the pillars that modern clinical communication systems are can be built on top of. The first is the secure messaging platforms. These are HIPAA compliant communication tools that look a bit like texting apps, but they are far more powerful. They allow clinicians to collaborate while protecting patient privacy. Messages can include patient IDs, lab values, or even links back into the EHR records. That way, receiver doesn't just get a vague "call me" message. They get more structured, contextual information that they can act upon immediately. The second is the clinical alert systems. These systems generate automatic high priority notifications. For example, a lab result outside safe ranges, a code blue, or a patient monitor crossing a critical threshold. Instead of relying on manual calls, The alert engine applies some sort of rules and instantly escalates to the right team member, reducing delay and error. The third and the most important pillar is the mobile first solutions. It ensures clinicians can respond no matter where they are, whether they are on the ward or in an operating room or even offsite. The systems are designed for realities of mobile user. Seamless handoffs can happen between Wi-Fi and cellular, efficient push notifications, and interfaces that can work on smaller screens. And the fourth pillar is the AI intelligence layer. This is where systems become more smarter. It can help prioritize urgent alerts, reduce noise, summarize patient context or history, and route notifications to the best available clinician at a given point of time. Together, these four pillars solve different problems. Secure messaging improves collaboration, alerts improve urgency response, and mobile first solutions improve reachability, and AI improves decision efficiency. For example, during a code blue, a traditional pager sends only a beep, but uh, it can be replaced with a more modern platform which can instantly alert the entire response team, share patient location, route the alert to available staff, and use AI to suppress non-critical interruptions during the emergency. So that is the shift happening right now. Not just faster communication, but more smarter and coordinated communication. So together, these pillars eliminate silos and help K teams act as one connected system. Let's look at some of the strongest benefits of real-time communication system that can mostly appear in emergency departments and intensive care units, where each second really matters the most. Deployment of these systems has shown some of the measurable improvements across some of the hospitals. For example, 42% faster triage response. That means patients are assessed more quickly and urgent care starts very sooner. 89% immediate alert escalation. Critical specialists are notified very immediately instead of waiting on callbacks or manual paging. And 67% improved team coordination. Care teams operate with shared visibility, reducing confusion and duplicate effort. These gains were driven by modern real-time communication platforms even before adding AI, and that's what make the next phase of healthcare exciting, where AI has potential to further improve these systems by prioritizing urgency, reducing alarm fatigue, summarizing patient context, and routing alerts more intelligently. So that being said, let's discuss some of the impact on patient outcomes and how it looks like. Uh, First, fewer medication errors. When instructions are communicated clearly with timestamps, detailed patient context, and structured updates, there is less room for misunderstanding, so that it directly improves the safety of the patient. Second is the shorter hospital stays. Faster interventions mean reduced complications and help patients recover sooner. That means earlier discharge, lower cost of care, and better bed availability for other patients. Third is the better clinical handoffs. Shift changes are one of the riskiest moments in healthcare. Real-time shared updates help incoming patients immediately understand what really happened, what changed, and what needs attention next. Now, these improvements are already possible through strong communication systems. AI introduces the next layer of opportunity where it can summarize patient history during handoffs. So, AI does not replace communication, but it enhances how effective communication can be achieved and how it improves patient outcomes. Now, let's look at some of the technical challenges in building these real time communication systems within a healthcare setting. The first challenge is the compliance and the privacy. Healthcare data is highly regulated. Every message, alert, log, and data transfer must be encrypted, auditable, and access controlled. When AI enters the picture, governance becomes even more important. We need to know what data is used, where it flows, and how outputs are monitored. The second challenge is the latency and reliability. In healthcare, subsequent delivery often matters the most. That means we cannot allow serialization delays, queue bottlenecks, network hops, or model interference delays to interrupt urgent workflows. AI must fit inside strict performance budgets, not the other way around. The third most important challenge is the legacy integration. Today, most of the hospitals rarely run on greenfield technology. They still depend on HL7V2 feeds, proprietary device interfaces, and older infrastructures. So before AI can generate real value, data often needs to be normalized, cleaned, and integrated across fragmented systems. That is why the center of this diagram is the trusted AI-ready patient data flow. When compliance, latency, and integration are all solved together, AI can become practical. When these systems or when these components are ignored, AI remains just a demo. Now let's deep dive into each challenge, starting with compliance and security. Um, so when we talk about clinical communication, speed alone is not enough. If clinicians do not trust the system to protect patient data, they will not really use it. And the same applies to AI. If hospitals cannot trust AI, cannot trust how AI uses data or generate output, adoption will fail or stall. This is why HIPAA compliance and AI governance are the foundation of trust. There are three key pillars. First is end-to-end encryption. Sensitive data must be protected while moving across networks or different systems. That means TLS protocol has to be used for data in transit, and AES 256 encryption mechanism must be used for data at rest. As AI capabilities grow, encryption must also extend to model pipelines, embeddings, vector stores, and secure integrations. And the second thing is the role-based access control. In hospital setting, not every user should see every piece of data. Access should be restricted and depend on clinical role, responsibility, and context. Same applies to AI systems as well. Model should only access the minimum necessary information required for a specific task. Third is the audit trails and AI accountability. Every message, alert, and sensitive access should be logged. With AI, governance goes even further. Hospitals should also capture what data was used, what recommendation was generated, and what action was ultimately taken. That creates transparency and accountability. And in real hospital settings, AI governance usually comes down to five practical controls mainly: approved data sets and minimum necessary PHA access, human oversight for high impact recommendations, full logging of inputs, outputs, and actions, continuous monitoring for drift, bias, and accuracy, clear ownership through clinical IT and compliance review boards. Without these safeguards in place, no matter how the technology is, adoption will fail. So governance is not bureaucracy; it is what makes innovation usable and trusted in healthcare ecosystem. So we have discussed the first challenge. Let's deep dive on the second challenge, that is the system latency, where millisecond matters the most. In healthcare setting, speed is not just a luxury; it is part of the overall patient safety. A message delivered too late may be clinically useless. That is why modern systems target reliable sub-second delivery, and how that can be achieved. First is the edge computing. Instead of routing every alert through a distant cloud region, edge nodes can be set up in a hospital, and they can process events closer to hospital campuses. That reduces network delay and keeps critical workflows very local to the hospital. Second is the network optimization. Not all traffic is equal within an hospital setting. For example, a code blue alert should never wait behind a routine traffic. So hospitals must prioritize urgent communication through quality of service controls. Third is the failover systems. If one node fails, traffic must instantly route through healthy nodes or backup paths. Speed and reliability must work together, and hospital systems must design with these things in mind. And the fourth is the persistent connections. Technologies like WebSockets maintain live channels between client and the server that allows alerts to be pushed more instantly instead of waiting for periodic polling. Fifth is the efficient AI inference. Inference simply means using a trained AI model in production to generate a prediction or recommendation. Examples could include urgency scoring, alert prioritization, routing recommendations, or summarizing clinical context. But in healthcare, AI cannot slow down the urgent workflows. That is why real time paths often use lightweighted, optimized models running in memory or on edge infrastructure or accelerated hardware. Large models may still be useful, but typically in background or asynchronous workflows rather than emergency response paths. The key takeaway is simple here. Subsecond systems are already hard to build. Adding AI means making them smarter without making them slower. And the third and most important challenge is the integration with existing hospital IT ecosystem. Even the fast and most secure communication systems or the smartest AI model is useless if it doesn't really fit or integrate with the existing hospital IT ecosystem. That's where the challenge lies. Hospitals run on a patchwork of systems, often decade old, alongside newer technologies. Integration is very critical, and it has to be done without breaking workflows that clinicians depend on every day. There are a few principles that make integration very successful. The first is the API driven interoperability. Modern EHRs expose FHIR APIs These are the RESTful interfaces that make it easier to pull and push clinical data. These APIs are the future of healthcare interoperability, but adoption is still uneven. Many hospitals are only partly FHIR enabled and using adapter or connector patterns. Because legacy systems aren't going away, we need some sort of adapter layers. These translate older HL7B2 messages, proprietary device formats, and lab feeds into the modern schema our communication platform understands. Think of it more like a translator sitting between old and new worlds. The third is a more modular rollouts. You don't deploy across the whole hospital at once. As far as your modern solution is considered, you start with a smaller unit, for example, an ICU or ER systems. Uh, you try to measure results there, refine, and then try to expand. That way, it reduces the blast radius and builds clinician confidence. And another is the workflow preservation. Integration isn't just about technology. Clinicians won't adopt it if it forces them to switch apps or break habits. The best approach is like embedding alerts or messages directly into their existing workflows, for example, inside the EHR interface that they already use. So integration is about more than APIs and protocols. It's more about meeting hospitals where they are, bridging legacy with modern, while keeping clinicians' workflows as seamless as possible. So to meet the demands of real-time healthcare, these systems are increasingly built on cloud-native architectures that bring several sort of advantages. The first is the elastic scalability. It ensures that systems can handle sudden spike in demand, such as during a mass casualty events. Cloud platforms can scale resources up quickly and scale back down when demand normalizes. That kind of elasticity is valuable for both communication systems and future AI workloads. Second is the high availability and resilience. Healthcare systems cannot afford any sort of downtime. Cloud native platforms are designed for full fault tolerance. With multi-zone or multi-region capabilities, services can fail over automatically if infrastructure problem occurs. That level of resilience is difficult to achieve with on-premises systems alone. And the cost efficiency. Traditional environments often require buying hardware sized for worst case peaks. Cloud models allow hospitals to pay for what they use. That creates a more sustainable operating model. It also makes advanced capabilities, including analytics and AI services, easier to adopt incrementally rather than through massive upfront investments. Some hospitals also combine cloud with local edge nodes for ultra low latency needs. So the best model is often not cloud versus on-prem, but it is a mix. So one of the most vulnerable moments in healthcare is the shift handoffs. When one team finishes and another takes over, critical details can be lost. That can lead to missed medications, delayed follow-ups, duplicated work, or safety events. Real-time systems does help solve this through asynchronous handoff protocols. These capture information very consistently and make it available across shifts. There are three important elements. First is timestamped updates. That means every alert, every note, every event or every change is logged in sequence. That creates a timeline of events that the patient has went through, so that it gives a clear picture on what really happened. Second is asynchronous communication. Teams do not always overlap perfectly. Structured updates allow the outgoing team to leave clear information that the incoming team can really act upon. Third is the structured workflows. Instead of relying on memory or informal notes, handoffs use existing templates that capture current status, recent changes, pending tasks, and next action items. That really improves consistency. So this is an area where AI can really help naturally. AI can summarize the previous shift, highlight unresolved issues, flag abnormal trends, and identify tasks that may have been missed completely automatically. So more importantly, AI should support clinical judgment, not replace it. So we have seen clinical impact of real-time communication, like safer handoffs, fewer errors, better outcomes. Now let's look at financial side of the equation, how these systems deliver clear economic returns for hospitals. One is reduced length of stay. Faster intervention means earlier discharges, freeing beds and improving throughput. Fewer costly errors mean each avoided medication error or adverse event prevents downstream costs like ICU stays or malpractice claims. Third is the improved staff efficiency. Less time spent chasing callbacks lowers overtime and burnout, which reduces turnover costs. Now let's discuss the roadmap for deploying such systems and what really has to be done for a successful implementation. The first is assessment. The process should start with mapping current workflows, where delays occur, how alerts are routed, and where handoffs break down. This creates a baseline for improvement and ensures we understand the pain points before introducing new technology. And technology selection. So once the gaps are clear, the next step is choosing the right platform. And here two priorities matter the most. One is compliance. The system must meet HIPAA and regulatory requirements, and usability. If the platform isn't fast and intuitive, clinicians won't adopt it no matter how secure it is. And pilot deployments, instead of rolling out the entire solution across the entire hospital, you start with a small unit like ICU or ER. These areas show clear benefits quickly. And next is the phased expansion. Once the pilot proves successful, you can start expanding your system department by department. Each rollout incorporates lessons learned from the earlier rollout, reducing risk and building momentum. And the last is the training and adoption. Technical deployment is only half the battle. Real success does come from adoption. That means you have to train clinicians, run simulations, and embed the system into daily routines until it feels like a second nature. So this is another place where AI can really help by analyzing adoption patterns, workflow bottlenecks, alert fatigues, and staffing friction over time. The key lesson from real deployments is simple: technology adoption is a human challenge as much as a technical one. Let's conclude. So we covered why communication really matters the most, and how systems are built, what makes them trusted, and how hospitals deploy them successfully. Um, I can leave you with one message. Real-time communication is not just IT infrastructure; it is a clinical intervention. When communication is fast and reliable, patients do better. When systems integrate naturally, clinicians use them. When deployment is thoughtful, hospitals gain both clinical and financial returns. And now AI creates the next opportunity, not to replace clinicians, but to help teams prioritize faster, hand off safer, and operate smarter. So the future is not AI alone, and it is not communication alone. It is healthcare systems that are both real time and intelligent. Thank you.